Hey guys, welcome to my channel. This is my monthly episode on how much money I make selling my images as stock photography, and best of all, we're doing it from Florence, Italy.
Welcome to my monthly stock photography sales episode. If you've been watching the channel, then you saw on Sunday the preview of my trip to Italy. These episodes where I share my earnings with you are important to me because they pay for my personal travel. That is right, all the episodes from Italy will be paid for by my stock photography sales. Next week, we'll be exploring Rome, so make sure you subscribe and turn on your notifications.
So guys, you just never know what images are going to sell. So let's take a look at some images that sold for the first time ever.
ShutterStock starts things off in Japan. Here, at the start of the fall colors, you can see some traditional architecture peeking through the forest. This image came with a 10-cent commission. Another image from ShutterStock. I'm sure this view has changed. This is Lake Powell in northern Arizona, captured at the crack of dawn. This image is about a year old, so I'm sure the water level is much lower. The Arizona monsoon at sunset. I don't like the heat here, but I love photographing the monsoons. This is a panorama taken from one of my drones high over the Sonoran Desert with a distant monsoon to the west. This is a panorama of Trevi Fountain in Rome for my last trip here. At first, I wasn't sure about posting this image. The panel obviously has some distortion in it. Well, since I developed it, I went ahead and posted and received a 25-cent sale from Big Stock Photo. Here's another 25-cent sale from Big Stock from the same evening. It's challenging to capture this fountain at night without a tripod. That's right, this is handheld. The local policia will not allow tripods in this area. I had to balance a wide open aperture, slightly higher than normal ISO, and some steady hands to get this low light image. This fall themed image is actually an extreme close-up of a glass vase with some small lights inside of it. You never know where you're going to find interesting photos when you work in the macro world. These next two images are 36-cent sales on Adobe Stock. What are they? They are the inside of a cactus, essentially the wooden skeleton of the plant. I took these very close to sunset with a field of dried grass in the backdrop. Using a wide aperture, I was able to blur out the complex background and keep the viewer's focus on the wood. This is from a relaxing afternoon on Whidbey Island. Granted, it was cold, but look at those beautiful snow-capped Olympic mountains in the distance. This is a good example of how a landscape photographer can use a zoom lens to bring the background closer to their subject. This is from a fall trip to Indiana. This was before the leaves had changed, so I was struggling to find compositions. I found these mums in Shipshewana, Indiana, and I think they made a great floral background. Japan, how I miss you so. It's not looking promising that I'll make it back this fall for the fall colors, so I'll have to do with memories. I love the simplicity of the architecture of traditional Japanese buildings. Very calming. I was used to seeing a great blue heron at my old home in Indiana, not along the Salt River in Arizona. This guy was posing for me right before sunset, which allowed me to capture the sunlight, making his feathers glow. Monument Valley. Even better, Monument Valley with snow. This is a rare treat, and I was very lucky to be able to photograph this place before the sun melted it all away. Winter can be a challenge for many, but for a landscape photographer, it can reveal magical moments, like this one. Back to Japan. Here's the Arishiyama Bamboo Grove in Kyoto, Japan. This was taken in the early morning. Even though I'm not heading to Japan soon, I know the $1.22 that Adobe Stock gave me will help get me there soon. This simple, unassuming structure can be found on Whidbey Island. Not much to look at, but it paid me $1.23 into my travel fund, so I appreciate it. Once again, we're back in Japan. I think This is a sign that I'm thinking so much of making a trip to Japan that so many of my images from my last trip there are selling. Here's another $1.24 going into the travel fund. Back home to Arizona and another monsoon. The sentinel of the Southwest stands in front of some small mountains with a dark monsoon thundering behind them. Simple, but $3.30 more towards my next trip. Video sales are becoming more important to me. A single video can really boost my monthly results. This one is a drone flight over the calm waters of a lake during the winter that I spent on Whidbey Island. This very rare sale from Pond 5 proves my point. This is from my trip to Whidbey Island in December and is the epic campsite that I enjoyed while I was camping my way as I headed north. This is in the Nevada wilderness.
People are always asking me what kind of images sell in stock photography. Truth be told, you just don't know. Now, I don't really do any stock setups or anything like that. I like to take the images of my travels. So, I could have higher sales if I would stage images, but I don't. But anyhow, here are the best-selling images from this past month.
This is the top-selling image on CanStock Photo. This is from the village of Amalfi, Italy. I earned $2 for this mosaic. Big Stock gave me $3 for this brilliant sunset image with a giant saguaro cacti being silhouetted by the colorful evening sky. To be honest, the beams of light were added in post-production. Years ago, I experimented with making some abstract images with my computer. ShutterStock gave me $6.53 for this one. Again, another computer-generated image paid off. This one got me $26.40 on Adobe Stock.
So how much did I actually make this past month selling my images of stock photography? Well, not a whole lot, but selling my images did pay for this trip. So here's the numbers.
Let's take a look at the final numbers for the month. Remember that I consider stock photography to be side income. It's not my primary income, and if you're looking into the possibility of selling your photos as stock, just remember that this is not an activity that you can retire on. For me, my monthly income is usually between $100 and $150. Sure, that number is slowly rising, but not to the point that I'll be able to quit my day job. Instead, I save this money to help me refresh my equipment when it needs to be replaced and to allow me to enjoy my passion of travel. If you're interested in any of my gear that I use, check out the links in the description. Also, you can support this channel further at patreon.com/EWJ. This Sunday is the start of my Exploring Italy series. I'll be taking all of you to Rome, Venice, Florence, Tuscany, Sorrento, Positano, Pompeii, and Capri. Make sure you subscribe and tune in as I share with all of you this experience.